welcome to my channel. Today we're talking about the NMC updates for overseas nurses. If you are in the final stages of the application to join the permanent register or have received a decision letter, if you began the registration process before October 2019, or you have submitted your registration application for which you have received the necessary supporting declaration, an employer has told the NMC that they believe you are fit, proper, and suitably experienced, and if you have begun your registration process after October 2019. This update applies to you. OSCE. All three OSCE centers throughout the UK have reopened since July 2020, and measures have been put in place to make sure candidates and staff are safe and everything is being kept under review. CBT. CBT operated by person view presently, and availability depends on your location and the national government restrictions where you live, and may be limited due to social distancing precautions. English language testing. Effective communication skills are essential, and the NMC accepts a number of types of evidence as outlined in the English language guidelines, which is the IELTS OET testing. Now, while the guidance and standards for English competence are expected and haven't changed, the NMC is willing to support candidates whose application have been delayed due to the OSCE center closures. As a result, validity period of English language evidence have been reviewed due to this, as a lot of English language tests expired due to OSCE centers being closed and being temporarily closed, or your English testing being close to expiry. The NMC is introducing a temporary measure to allow candidates to provide additional evidence to demonstrate that they have maintained their English language since the expiry of their English language test or their recent practice in a majority English-speaking country. Mind you, Africa is not a majority-speaking country. This temporary measure will apply to you if you have valid English evidence on 23rd of March 2020. This could either be an accepted English language required test score or evidence of 1 year practice in a majority English language speaking country, and no more than 2 years old. Your valid English evidence expired between 24th March 2020 and 20th January 2021 inclusive. Since your English language evidence expired, that you have been living in the UK or another majority English language speaking country, and you can demonstrate that since your English language evidence expired, you have been working in a healthcare setting in the UK or a registered practice in a majority English-speaking country. The NMC accepts 2 language tests as evidence of the ability to communicate effectively in English, the IELTS and the OET testing. Additional evidence you can provide. If the above applies to you, you may provide additional evidence to show that you have been working and using your English in a clinical setting in the UK or in a registered practice in a majority English-speaking country. This evidence must cover the period between the expiry of your English language test or recent practice and the date of your completed application, and this period must not be more than 6 months. For example, if a language test expired on 30th of June 2020 and you have been and will continue to be working in a healthcare setting in the UK since this date, you will be able to provide additional evidence support for your application. You will need to submit your application completely by 30th of December 2020, or you may be asked to provide another language test according to the example above. If the temporary measure applies to you, you should contact the NMC via overseas.enquiries@nmc/uk.org so that you can send your employer reference form, which will be sent to you to the NMC. Your employer needs to complete this form to confirm that you have undertaken your practice in English. The form should be filled by a senior NMC registrant if you are working in a healthcare setting in the UK, or by someone in a comparable position if you have been working in a majority speaking English country. If you are in a non-majority English speaking country like Africa, the NMC understands that it is difficult to provide this additional evidence if you are a non-majority English speaking country, and therefore recommends that you should complete a further English test, IELTS or OET if you have already submitted your health, character and language evidence to the NMC. You can send the new test result via email and it will be attached to your application. If your test results have expired but you decide not to take a further IELTS or OET, your application will be considered in addition to any other evidence to provide in accordance with the paragraph explained above. It will need to show that your language has not deteriorated between your expiry of your previous successful test results and your completed application. However, if the NMC decides that your additional evidence does not meet the criteria outlined above, you will be asked to complete a new English test. So, do your best to complete a new English test if you are not in the UK practicing presently. Online English language testing. IELTS online testing have not been accredited by the NMC and are not accepted. However, OET online testing have been reviewed by the NMC and have been accepted by the NMC. In addition, the NMC will be accepting the new OET computer test, which allows candidates to take OET examinations on a computer at a test center instead of a paper test. However, for IELTS, the NMC strictly accepts only paper written IELTS tests and computer based. The UK Visas and Immigration have made changes also as a result of the COVID, and as regards overseas nurses, you are expected to pass your OSCE by December 2021 if you do not pass your OSCE test at the first attempt. Changes have also been made to the visa needed by overseas nurses to come to the UK, and which presently is a skilled visa and not the tier 2 visa. So these changes are in place and you do not need to pay for your IHS fee. Neither do your dependents need to pay for IHS fee. You can also work extra hours and you have unlimited restrictions to your work hours presently during the pandemic if you're working with the NHS, and you can also change jobs and work more hours during the pandemic. However, if you are applying for a new visa, you will need to wait for your decision before you start a new job. And if you are applying on the same job on your short code and you are still awaiting your visa, you can commence your job if you've already previously been working in this shortage occupation and you're just changing to a new visa. However, those who are changing to the skilled visa or first-time applicants to the skilled visa can start. However, if you're changing to a different code, you will need to wait for your visa to come out before starting your new job. And those are my updates from the NMC. If you have any questions you want to ask, I'll try my best to answer. If this video added any value to you, do well to like, subscribe. I'll see you in my next one. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.